Alba chose a movie that's near and dear, obviously, to my heart, and I couldn't be more excited to talk about this movie. So we'll start with 2008's The Dark Knight. So, Alba, you chose this movie. What were your initial thoughts on choosing it, and what does it mean to you?
So, as far as my life is concerned, Will, there are two planes of existence. There is life before The Dark Knight and life after The Dark Knight. This was a transformative movie-going experience in my life. I went to the midnight because I'm a big Batman guy too, and I really enjoyed Batman Begins, and I really like it a lot. But just seeing the trailers for The Dark Knight, I was like, this is going to be a special movie.
Yeah.
And you knew it just was. And then obviously everything that happened with Heath Ledger leading up to it, you were like, man, this is going to take it over the top. The early hype was, this is a game-changing movie. So I went to the midnight premiere, and it was one of the most memorable nights of my entire life for a variety of reasons. And I'm sure we can dig into it over the course of this podcast. But I'd say I've probably seen this movie well over 100 times in my life. It's a commitment. It's a long movie, but it is just a comfort movie for me. Combined with some of the greatest scenes I've ever seen. And Mikey, you hit it dead on. I mean, Hans Zimmer, his score is basically its own character in this movie.
Absolutely.
And it elevates, I can think of 5 scenes right off the top of my head that are elevated just by the score alone. So this is, in my opinion, one of the greatest movies ever made, and it's my favorite film of all time.
It is number 3 on IMDb's top 250. It is considered, some would say, the greatest comic book / superhero movie ever made.
Well, my favorite part about that scene,
please,
it's like very clearly the Joker in a nurse costume, and Harvey doesn't realize it until he takes the mask off. He just takes the medical mask that's covering his mouth off, and he's just like, he goes right after it.
No, not you.
You know, in terms of the greatest scenes I've ever seen in a movie, like 1A is the interrogation scene between Batman and the Joker here, and 1B would be the sewer fight between Batman and Bane in The Dark Knight Rises, which I have that entire scene memorized. I could rattle that thing off for you word by word.
This was Christian Bale your favorite Batman as well?
Yeah, I think Christian Bale is my Batman, but with that said, I really did enjoy the Batman, the Robert Pattinson Batman, quite a bit. And while I'm not convinced that he's a great Bruce Wayne just yet, there's still some more movies to be seen, so we'll see how that unfolds. I thought he nailed some of the early elements of Batman. And Will, I know you're a big Batman guy, so you could speak more to that than even I probably could. But what would be the unpolished aggression that he showed in that early stage of Batman, I thought he did very well. But for me, Christian Bale like nailed Bruce Wayne, what Bruce Wayne should be, that playboy with the swagger. And I remember the meme at the time when this movie came out, if memes even existed, was that maybe Christian Bale overdid the Batman voice a little bit in The Dark Knight. And maybe the voice is a little too growly.
Of course. You know it's too growly when he's trying to do a monologue and he's got to take a breath after every 2-3 words.
When he says to the Joker at the end of the movie, he says, "You'll be in a bad jail forever." And I'm like, it took me a good 2 months of rewatching it to be like, what did he say there? And I was like, oh, you'll be in a padded cell forever. That's what he said. I was like,
closed caption won't even pick it up. It was like, I don't
you'll be in a vat of Jello forever. What? What?
Closed caption will have ...
So go back and look at the Batman and Jared Leto.
Right? Do I have to?
Yeah. Let me tell you,
that's Will's favorite Joker.
Yeah. Did you see the Nolan? Wait, I mean, not the Nolan.
Time out. Did you see the I know what you're going to ask me, Will. You're going to ask me about the Snyder Cut.
Did you see the end scene of that?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
but hold on.
Tell me
Before
what
I
you thought about that. Yeah.
Is Leto for real your favorite Joker?
No.
Oh, thank God.
You a goddamn lie.
Had me going there. I was about to walk off this podcast.
It is just my favorite Joker Batman conflict scene with each other, because there was passionate hate in there with each other.
You're talking about the nightmare scene at the end of the Snyder Cut?
Yes, because I mean, you got to think about it. He killed Robin, right?
Yeah.
And there
Harley
was just,
died in Batman's arms.
yeah. It just, he's like, and he goes, and I kill you, and make no mistakes, I will bleeping kill you, right?
Yeah.
I was like, oh my, I always look for that passion.
I like the way you switched that up. Like,
yeah. I'm not allowed to cuss.
No, I'm not even talking about that. About the fact that Jared Leto's your favorite Joker.
Jared Leto.
Well, he's not my. He's my favorite, but he's not my favorite. He's just I mean,
so if I'm being honest with you, come to the Joker with telling the story through the comics. I think that they did a better job as a Batman fan with Leto and Affleck. I do. I think if you look at
it was one scene.
No. Well, just even telling the story up there and the way they were with each other. I honestly thought, and I get hate for this, I honestly thought that Affleck and Leto did a better job of telling that. I did. And people are going to hate me for it.
If I'm talking like, if you want to like look into the dynamic of Batman and the Joker on screen, and I don't know if either, I'm sure you have, but I would say the Kevin Conroy, Mark Hamill animated, like with Mask of the Phantasm, like that, the Batman, the animated series, I would say that is like the definitive Batman Joker on film in terms of getting their dynamic together. Now it's animated, but still, we're talking early 90s stuff here. And I think Mark Hamill is just one of the greatest voice actors ever. So,
sure.